Hey, Jinx!
Truck stop!
Long time ago, I picked this up at a Goodwill somewhere in, I think, Virginia. It's the Microchem XM5000. It's a couple of plastic locker-looking chests, and inside is a whole bunch of chemistry stuff. Lots and lots of goodies. Now, it's not a complete set, but yeah, this is just one of those things that you get for children, which has like little bottles of chemicals, tools, and equipment. It looks like all this plastic stuff is supposed to be a balance, but I don't know if it has all the parts or what, because there's no instruction manual that came with it at all. It was very cheap. Oh god, I don't want to break it. Yeah, so it's got all this stuff in it. So these are all parts to make a scale, basically. Up here we have a plastic tube. Almost looks like a cigarette. Oddly enough, we have parts for what looks like a compass. Maybe there's some kind of magnetic component. Oh, no, it's not a compass, it's a galvanometer. So, I guess you can measure the effects of a galvanic cell. Not sure. I wish this came with the instructions. Down here, we have a pretty cool looking well plate setup. And it's even got this piece of cardboard with a color gradient to it. I'm guessing this is for pH determinations and things like that. Kind of like that little kit you get with a swimming pool, and well, not with a swimming pool. You know, you mix the pool water in and the color tells you the pH sort of deal. Magnifying glass. This thing is just full of a bunch of Pasteur transfer pipettes. There's a whole bunch of them in there. You get one graduated plastic test tube with screw-on cap. And a whole assortment of chemicals in these little bottles. We've got cobalt chloride. That's poisonous. Copper sulfate. That's okay. Sodium silicate. That's probably fine. Calcium hydroxide. Yeah, that's basically lime. Calcium nitrate. Citric acid. That's, that's fine. Ferrous sulfate, that's okay. Oh, here's one that's missing its screw cap. Not sure what the helicopter pad looking thing is for. What is this? And then we have zinc powder, iron powder, sodium carbonate. Oh, what's this one? Oh, borax powder. So, it's pretty standard stuff. It ain't like, back in the day when you could get, like, uranium. More on that later. Oh, this is universal indicator. So this is basically a mixture of a lot of different indicators so that it can change all kinds of different colors depending on the pH. And here we have more sodium carbonate. Oh no, that was calcium carbonate before. Carbonate source, different cation. Classic. Phenolphthalein. Turns pink in caustic media. I have not heard of this chemical. It's called Biuret reagent. Biuret. So that sounds like one of those old school names, for like Tollens reagent or whatever. This is a mixture of sodium carbonate and copper sulfate. I have heard of this one. I've used it before. Fehling's solution. A mixture of sodium citrate and copper sulfate. Here we've got some magnesium sulfate. And we've got sodium sulfate, ammonium sulfate, and ammonium chloride. And there's a whole bunch of empty slots and things because stuff is missing. But that's okay, because it was only a few bucks, and it's a neat little thing. But you can see what it would have come with on the back. So it looks like there were more test tubes, more parts for that scale, safety goggles, a petri dish perhaps right here. Yeah, that's all kinds of neat stuff. Oh, okay, so under the cap they must have some kind of a septum for these pipettes to go onto. Well, that's neat. That way you don't spill it. What else have we got? Looks like rubber bands, toothpicks, a little bit of cocaine. Perfect for children. I've also got this little microscope, just to continue with the science theme. Looks like it's made to be a girl's toy, or people who are designated girls, because it says ogdolls.com. Yeah, this is one of those, promoting women in science things, which I'm all for. So the instructions tell you how to replace the battery and how to use the microscope, which is actually a usable microscope, apparently. So let's dive into this thing and find out what kind of scientist would use all of these things. Well, microscope. Lots of scientists use microscopes. Biologists, microbiologists, even chemists and physicists. There's lots of uses for microscopes. So here we have the focus. We've got 3 objectives. Oh. I see it now. It is in the off position. Hey, cool. There's the light. Having trouble, there we go, rotated to some objective. I'm not sure what the magnifications are or if they are different. The working distance of this objective looks pretty small. Let's see if you can see anything down there. Yeah, well.
Do you see anything?
Not really. Well, it's got a cool functionality to it. It's fidgety. It's got a light, and that's fine. It's a neat little thing. You've also got this flask with purple stuff in it, filled up to the 500 milliliter line, and that's actually how the graduations look on Erlenmeyer flasks like this. But if you consider it to be at the same scale as the microscope, this thing is huge. It is way more than half a liter. And the lab goggles, well, if this is to scale with the microscope, you've got Goliath doing science. Yes, these are, I don't know, you might be able to get them around the head of a doll, but otherwise, well, let's try it. Oh, yeah. I just tried to put them on and I broke them. Probably a good thing. I might have stabbed my eye with a jagged piece of plastic, which would be really ironic. Well, this is pretty neat. It's a little test tube rack with test tubes. This one's got pink stuff. It looks like it may have actually been liquid at some point. It's like dried on the side in there. That's, I don't know. We got yellow and then purple with rubber stoppers, or plastic, but in real life, these would be black vulcanized rubber. These are also graduated, which is a thing. You can get graduated test tubes. So my question is this for a biologist? A chemist? I'd say this is for a chemist, because it's got the massive Erlenmeyer flask and a bunch of test tubes with stuff in it, which, if you're ever into crystallography, you might use something like this to try to grow crystals of your new undiscovered compound. And you look for the crystals using the microscope, and then you send them off to a crystallographer to get an X-ray crystal structure. So that was a neat little thing. This is a microscope lab set from the 1960s. I bought this from a antique store. It says original old store find, $15. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm guessing that it means it was like shoved in the back of a shelf somewhere for 60 years. And then it was found, and now I own it. Yes, this is a child of the 60s. This child model is, dead. A hobby today, a profession tomorrow. That was my attempt at a 1960s radio voice. Yes, this is a pretty cool thing, actually. Here's what it comes with. Prepared slide, blank slides. What's the... couple of collecting vials. What's this thing? Oh, gum media. You got your cover slips, pair of tweezers, dissecting needle, which I actually didn't see in here. It's kind of missing. Maybe it rolled in there somewhere. Hopefully. And you got your illuminator and blah, blah, blah. Let's hope that this didn't come with batteries, because they are going to be in nasty shape if that's the case. Trying to preserve this as best I can, because it is pretty old. It comes with the manual, your student microscope. Check out that typeface. Printed in Japan. I'm trying to find something with a date on it just to confirm it's actually from the 60s. Oh, what's this? Found a dropper. I don't remember seeing that on the diagram. Oh yeah, it's just like a little solid piece now. Oh, it's all dried out. And the sticker says it can zoom up to 750x. That's respectable. Well, it's made from aluminum, I believe. And here you can see there are 3 different objectives. They go between 50 and 750x. Now I have a color wheel for some reason. And here's the illuminator that can turn on and off. So it most likely does need a battery. Oh, this whole thing slides out. Open with a coin. I've got a coin I can open this with. Oh, yeah, there are batteries in it.
Oh, God, how bad are they?
They look okay. Yeah. So this thing might be from the 1960s, but something tells me it has been used in the time since then. Although that's a pretty old-looking logo for Energizer. I'm not seeing an expiration date, but they are made in the USA. Well, we got a simple little bulb there, too. Looks like the filament is still in place. Let's put in some fresh batteries and see what happens. Well, looks like the copper contact is not making proper contact. Complete the circuit. Oh, it wants to start. There we go. Yes. So that works. Sorta. There we go. So your initial objective takes you between 10 and 15x, and you get additional magnification from the objectives down here. You get a nice amber color illuminating. So one of the slides says textile fiber, Panya fiber, made in Japan. So this is something that we can test this thing out with. Well, it does work. It's just really hard to see. Maybe the phone will do a better job. Stand by.
Oh, I see something. No, there you go. Right there.
Now, if I hold it real still, you can see the fiber. That's at about a... I'm not sure what the zoom is for this objective, but yeah, so this thing's actually kind of functional. It's just sensitive and clunky. Oh, it says right here what the objective is. This is the 75 by 50. We'll do the 300x, 200x. Oh, wow. Yeah, the illuminator isn't powerful enough at this magnification to see very much. So I'm just going to call it functional and put it back in its case for display purposes. So I got one more cool thing to show you, but it's going to be on a separate video because it's really neat and it's going to take a while to take you through it. So, until next time, this has been Sasquatch. Oops.